Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Kakodash, double honors to the elders, the apostles of the millstone, blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, knows in this gospel, brother, from the stern of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, where we may be. This is just a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Titled, His truth is going forth, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Okay, because he's being revealed as being the wicked, like the Bible talks about. So therefore, he's coming down like a raving madman due to the fact that his kingdom is fallen and he's been exposed as being the wicked. You know, this man has offense after offense after offense that he's been found guilty of, including partaking in the downfall of the saints. Not a full contribution into taking our people down, even to this day. You got our people that's so lost and they're so deceived to the fact that they don't realize who their enemies are, and that's something that he is going to pay for, because the scriptures say during the time of our calamity heading in, our iniquity, he farted the affliction. Ezekiel the 35th chapter. So with that being said, this man has a lot of blood on his hand and he has a lot to pay for. And the fact that, you know, he's sending this coronavirus and this weather manipulation, like today is going to be damn near 60 degrees. And it was supposed to be a pretty much sunny day. And I checked the forecast a week prior and a few days up into, and it changes dramatically, man. And honestly, you know, predicting the weather, that's something that Yahweh Hashem Shai can only do because it's of his will. So when you got these weather forecasts and things like that, I think that's all manufactured, you know, geoengineering, so to speak, which deals with the control of the weather and stuff like that. Because when you look up in the air, you know, this is not natural clouds. They're mainly chemicals, and this is why you have fog, and this is why you have like this type of dusty film that's on your car every morning when you wake up to go to work or wherever it is you do, because he's spraying chemicals in the air, you know. And this is why people are sick. This is why people are dropping dead by the masses, including the whole corona thing, because and that's the spirit, that UPS truck at 7774, which is completion. But with that being said, the whole thing about this corona nonsense up in Wuhan, China, I believe that's the first place where the 5G was rolled out at. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that the whole 5G concept deals with these nanoparticles and these different bariums that they spray in the heavens, like the chemtrails. That's barium oxide and different types of chemicals that breaks down and it sticks to your body and into your respiratory, like what you call fibers. Like if your brothers ever did construction, or any of your brothers are in the insulators union, they have something which is called fiber wool or rock wool, which rock wool is the first pretty much of its kind, because, you know, they tested for the asbestos and cancer causing agents, and these little nanoparticles or these little fibers, they stick to your skin and they get in your bloodstream. And I believe I still suffer from that today, you know, because you can tell in some cases with your skin, like you have acne and stuff like that, or eczema, a lot of times it's due to the chemicals, you know, because our skin is not getting the natural or the proper nutrition that it needs, you know, because your skin is the biggest organism on your body, and it's a living organism. And this is why, you know, when you break out, etc., stuff like that, you have different ailments, you know, because your pores are open and you're susceptible to the different infirmities out here. You know, like right now, even though it looks like it may be clouds because they so high up, but I wouldn't doubt that those are chemicals, because basically we haven't had any good sunlight in damn near a month. You know, with days in between, we may have a day that we may have sunlight and another day, but other than that, man, I can only count 3 days that we had a full blue sky, man, and it's gonna get worse. You know, it's gonna get worse as time progresses. You know, this man is trying to knock out the sun. He's spraying chemtrails. He's spraying airborne illnesses. You know, basically biological warfare. So Esau, man, he has to be brought down, and he is being brought down. This is why Revelation 12:12 said that behold, the devil come down to you having great wrath, because he knoweth he have but a short time. You know, so therefore he's taking it upon himself to do everything he can to kill out the Israelites, which is the majority of the populace. You know, because the Georgia Guidestones it specifically states that we want to maintain humanity under 500 million. So they're killing roughly 6.5 billion people, 5.5 billion people easily, due to this man's hatred and the fact that he deals or he operates in imbalance. Okay, because Esau, he only has one speed, and that's straight destruction. He's not pro-life, he's anti-life. He's pro-death, you know, because I mean, you know, just the chemicals like the pesticides and stuff like that you're spraying on the grass and the roots to stop the herbs from growing. Like I used to have dandelions that grow up in my yard, and I haven't seen them lately, you know, even though we're not in that season yet. But I remember last year, in the beginning of the spring, I had dandelions all over my grass, and one day they came out there to cut it, which I'm assuming they probably sprayed some treatment or some weed eater in the grass, because dandelion is considered weeds to Esau. So what happened was they haven't really sprouted back up, you know, because I was out there from time to time picking them and, you know, just experiment with them, because you can make a good dandelion tea, which is good for respiratory illnesses, you know. So this man, he's totally destroyed the way of life, and this is why we warn you brothers out there and our people to know who the enemy is, which is this devil, which is this Edomite, which devil just means deceiver. It don't mean that you have horns and a pitchfork, but it's highly symbolic, because in all those cartoons, like the Tom and Jerry cartoons, Esau, he's depicted, or the devil's depicted as being red, you know, like a Vienna sausage or something like that. And what are the chances that this man is red? So in that case, he was revealing himself then, you know, but the spirit of Yahweh Shai was revealing him, because the scriptures also say that in that time, the man of sin, the sons of perdition, will be revealed in this time, you know, who should be taken out the way, who's coming and working wonders is after the works of Satan, which shows you that Satan deals directly with the Edomites. All right, that's his human counterpart on the planet Earth. This is like we're the counterpart and the offspring of Yahweh Shai. Esau is pretty much the offspring of Satan, man. Though the Lord created all nations and all spirits and all souls, he is pretty much the sons of the devil, man, the sons of Belial, the sons of the wicked. You know, this is why they have the type of hatred they have. Like when they talk to you, it's forced, you know, and it's deception. They don't like you, they don't care for you. And when jakes are all around, you know, we coming in unison, they get aggravated. It pinches their soul to see that our people are coming together in some type of form of unity. They hate that. You know, it's just something in their spirit that gets aggravated, and it's the fact that there's the devil gene in them. You know, like the homie in Tekken, Kaz, basically, he had the devil gene in him based on his mother, and I believe his grandfather, but his mother, really, he inherited the devil gene from his mother, which her name was Kazumi, and you had her son Kaz, which basically had the devil gene in him, and you know, it caused him to be powerful. You couldn't really kill Kaz for real, because if you killed him, the devil manifested him. And the same thing with Esau. Though Kaz was a Jake, you know, Kaz, he had that Yakuza vibe to him. You know, he was a Jake, but still, same thing with Esau. This is why that race riots and tensions and wars is gonna come to a head, and Esau is gonna start opening up on you tribes, man. If you don't get your stuff together, if you don't come together and understand your heritage and get out of the ways of the world, hey, he is coming for you, man, and he's gonna blow you down with extreme prejudice, bar none. You know, so the race wars are coming, the riots are coming, the tensions between us and them is at an all-time high, to the point that, man, you don't even want to acknowledge Edomites, even talk to them, unless they're in some type of form of mutual agreement. Like if I go to a store, stuff like that, to hold the peace, you know, they may speak, I may speak, cashier may be a older Edomite, you know, and you know, we may have a little A and B conversation, but that's as far as it go. You know, you just do that because Paul said, if all be possible, live peaceably among men, all men. You know, that don't mean not curse out the 2/3. All right, that don't mean sparing the 2/3, because through the spirit you can discern who's possibly of the 2/3 and not. So if you see somebody acting niggerish, you could call him out because of the fact that he's going off. So you're supposed to give Jake a pass. You know, and that's another thing, how you know that the spirit of Satan is really operating too in this latter times, because the scriptures say, and a lot of times many should depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits, man. So it's gonna come a time that you got all these different doctrines out here, like the whole fact that John was not in the truth, and all this other madness, and that you can't rebuke the 2/3. Like that's crazy, man. That's that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? And if you're teaching that nonsense, man, you need to really examine your spirit, because the scriptures say, examine yourself and see if you're really in the faith, man. You know, instead of going off sheer emotion and buffoonery, because you feel some type of way, you can change the diet. It ain't about the doctrine. Like, one thing about I noticed, when guys get casted out, like I noticed this with Nas and them, it don't become about the doctrine, it becomes about who's right. And that's the problem. Jake always want to be right. Instead of looking at the facts and the ballistics of the truth, it's about who's right. So ultimately it becomes a contest out of pride and emotion, and that's not how we're supposed to operate in this thing. Because if you're doing that, you're vain babbling, because it's not profitable to the body. You got to focus on what's more profitable into the body, man. You know, if I take antibiotics, which in some cases it may be necessary, but what's more beneficial, antibodies or herbs? You know, what's going to do the body good, the herbs or the antibiotics? And damn sure not the antibiotics. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to consider that, man, you know, and really just lean not on your own understanding. Okay, and this one again, that's why the scripture said in Ephesians 6, what are you people doing? It says, pray that you're able to resist the wiles of the devil, because if you ain't praying and you coming with that contentious type spirit, man, Satan is just going to overtake you. And before you know it, you're going to be leaning on your own understanding. Because it's a heavy spirit out here. We in the time of Passover too. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he ain't playing, man. He is not playing games with Jake or with Esau. You know, and it sucks that we gotta spend another Passover in this wicked kingdom, man. I wish the Lord just come and get us, you know, but I understand that things must come to pass. The chip gotta come to pass, you know, the prophecies gotta come to pass, etc. You know what I'm saying? So, brothers, you gotta stay in tune, stay in the spirit, you know, focus on the prophecies, man, you know, all of the BS and stuff like that, man, you know, hey, try to avoid it at all costs, you know, but in some cases it needs to be addressed, but, you know, most cases, man, you know, just try to stay in the spirit and stay spiritual and keep a low profile, man, because these devils are looking to blame us for anything possible. This is why we say no more hominid attacks, man, meaning personal attacks, because, you know, Esau, let's just say if we, you know, attack somebody personally, you know, and then something happened and all of a sudden, you know, Esau was reaching, you know, so it's really just about just edifying, man, you know, edifying the body and just teaching the word. Though you're going to have schisms, though you're going to have disagreements, that comes along with this truth. You know, the Lord never said that these things wouldn't happen. So if you was in the truth thinking you was going to have a perfect ride and that your ride or dies was going to be forever with you, then you sadly mistaken, because there was plenty of men that, you know, that I considered real close, and hey, they not even in the truth no more, man. You know, they ain't even going out no more, so it happens. That's the thing about this truth, man. It's a painful pill, but it is what it is, you know. Anyway, with that, all praises and glory honor that's due to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, double honor to the elders, the apostles, the great millstone, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, brother, living up the standard of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, wherever it may be. And with that, shalom and above.